Looking for magic cards? At flipsidegaming.com you can now use the promo code LVD to get a 10% discount on orders over $10 while supporting the channel at the same time. We will be playing in the challenge. Alright, I think I want to give the mono red deck a chance in the event, so I still have to build a sideboard. I think some copies of Rekindling Phoenix. Let's see what else. We could add some Lava Coils to deal with recursive threats. We could add maybe some Diamond Mares for the mirror. Could also consider some number of Fight with Fire as an additional answer to Lyra Dawnbringer, which is quite beating otherwise. So maybe 3 of those. Then 1 extra land for when we board in the more expensive spells. Make sure to have the same art. I think we picked this one. And then 1 Experimental Frenzy extra here. Alright. So that should do it. So we've got Lava Coil to answer opposing Rekindling Phoenix. Fight with Fire for Lyra, Diamond Mare against the aggressive decks to gain some life, a Frenzy against control, Phoenix can also come in against control decks, and an extra mountain for when we bring in the 4-drops. Seems good. Alright, this hand seems okay. Yeah, I think I still Firebrand here. I would rather have him kill the Firebrand than the Lava Runner, especially with a Wizard's Lining in hand. Opponent on Grixis. With Lazav, puts Niv Mizzet in the graveyard, so... Alright, Grixis legendaries, apparently. Let's get Lazav out of here, I think. Are we risk factoring or are we shocking? Probably just risk factor here. I guess we could have attacked first. Nicol Bolas. Nicol Bolas is annoying. And now we're 1 land short of Chainwhirler, Shock and Firebrand. I guess we still just play Chainwhirler here. I don't know, it's close. So if we Shock plus Firebrand, get rid of Nicol Bolas, I play another one, that would be very painful. Let's just play a Chainwhirler. Alright, another Shock is not bad, so now we can attack with Chainwhirler, see what they do, or we could double Shock. Double Shock fails against Counterspell though. I think we just send Chainwhirler. Opponent blocks, they might have a second Nicol Bolas. Let first rank damage happen first, and then kill it. Well, the joke's on them if they have another Nicol Bolas. Since I think we just empty our hand here as opposed to risk factor again. That's fine. Sure. To shock or not to shock? I think we shock. Just gonna keep a risk factor for when we draw land, I think. Alright. So against the Grixis stuff, how do we want to sideboard? We saw Cast Downs, we didn't see Vraska's Contempt, even though they might have it. Lava Coil's a decent answer to Nicol Bolas. What else do we expect to bring them in? I think Frenzy's good, Phoenix is good, and then we'll bring in the Mountain. Just go a little bit bigger. Expecting the opponent to bring in more cheap removal. And what's not as good? Probably the Firebrand. What else? Maybe a Shock. This hand's okay, not exciting. I think our best card by far in the matchup is going to be the Frenzy, since our opponent being Grixis doesn't have any answers to it once it resolves. No early creatures to pressure them, so we're giving them time to play their powerful stuff. Well, triple Chainwhirler's not bad either, I guess. Cast down. And there's Karn. Alright. And they can have a land, I think.
I'll make use of that later.
You can have a Sulphur Falls. Alright, it's a little scary here since they might be able to cast something like a Niv Mizzet next turn. So do we attack Karn? Do we go face? I think we can win a long grindy game with Frenzy, so we shouldn't be trying to be too aggro.
Discuss our differences.
If our opponent does play Niv Mizzet, then can Lightning Strike and kill Karn in response, or we could just Lightning Strike Karn right now. Which is also reasonable, probably want to do it in their upkeep. Yeah, I think we take out Karn. And then we have First Strike plus Wizard's Lightning to take out Niv Mizzet potentially. This plays around a counterspell a bit better. Spell Pierce, alright. Did not expect Spell Pierce, but that could have countered the Frenzy as well. So not too sad. I guess if they get back the rest, we could be in trouble. They're just gonna plus. And they can have a Shivan Fire. I mean, they didn't do anything last turn, so I'm not actually hitting our spot here. And a Lava Runner too, so we can actually empty our hand. I think I'm lining the Karn, that way I don't have to waste additional attackers to make sure it dies if they have a removal spell. Attack with everyone, hope they tap out, and then Frenzy. Cannonades. Oof, not too effective, luckily. And yep, Frenzy should lock things up, hopefully. So we're gonna draw Steam-Kin, which is gonna be stuck in our hand, that's okay. And hopefully we just rattle off some burn spells. Alright, they did have Phoenix. Don't have our own Lava Coils, but that's okay. Risk factor, they're just gonna let us draw the cards, that's okay. Ooh, can we put this in full control? And respond with... nope. Alright, just put this in play. And our own Phoenix on top, which will be stuck in our hand. That's okay. Send both. Opponent takes 3 down to 4. And then we could just decide to sacrifice a Frenzy so we can double Lightning Strike them. Contempt, alright. So they did have Contempt to answer Phoenix. Back up to 6. Draw Phoenix, Lava Runner on top. So probably worth it to play it here. Alternative would be sack Frenzy, play Lightning Strike. But we can still do that end of turn. Alright, so we're probably sacking the Frenzy end of turn here. I guess we could also risk factor, draw some more cards. Alright, so if they don't have a counterspell, they're dead. Alright, sweet. So we had a pretty slow hand, but a landing Experimental Frenzy does wonders. This hand seems good. Yeah, Risk Factor is kind of a weird card in combination with Experimental Frenzy, since they're almost always gonna let you draw the cards when you do. You think 3 Frenzy's main deck is worth it? Strong card. Yeah, it's just that it's a little clunky multiples. Let's see if they have their own Chainwhirler. So it's tempting to get the Steam-Kin out there. Could also just double shock the Chainwhirler. I think we get the Steam-Kin out there first. Offer the trade. And if they try and Chainwhirler us, then we'll shock them in response. Alright, so now what? I think we probably want to just play our own Chainwhirler here, but I'll start by attacking. And land would be a good draw, since then we can go risk factor plus shock. Alright, Lava Coil, Steam-Kin. Opponent having main deck Lava Coils is interesting to note, so Phoenix doesn't look all that great. And a Pyromancer. Alright, so maybe regretting a little bit that we played a Chainwhirler last turn. And a land, so we could go risk factor plus shock. I think we tried. Risk factor first. Alright, they're gonna have us draw cards. So now we can Wizard's Lining a Chainwhirler, or we can just be patient and burn them out. Don't think we need to make a move. I guess we can force the trades for Chainwhirlers here. Does that benefit us? Not really, since we want to be playing defense. And the Chainwhirlers stop the Pyromancers from attacking. It's an interesting spot for sure. I think just playing defense, being the control deck in the spot is worth it. As opposed to try and force trades. Yep, that's fine. Alright, I think they're dead here. So your opponent main deck Phoenix and Lava Coil. So it's kind of like they're pre-boarded for the mirror match in a way. Alright, so after seeing Phoenix and Lava Coil, I don't think we want our own Phoenix, but I do think we want our Lava Coils. And Diamond Mare seems okay. Don't like Firebrand, not a fan of Pyromancer either. And we'll add another mountain. So Pyromancer is cuttable. Although maybe we're a bit light on creatures now. Could see cutting, maybe 4 Lava Coils is a bit much. Could see cutting some Wizard's Lining now that we have fewer wizards. Could see cutting some risk factors now that we're playing a more controlling game. I think I'll cut some risk factors. Maybe keep in 2 Pyromancers anyway. And I guess I'll go 1 Pyromancer then. Something like this. Seems okay. Now that we're playing 3 frenzies, the risk factor also seems less appealing, since they just let us draw cards with it. Alright, well, this hand has answers for Phoenix, that's for sure. So we're just hoping to trade some resources and then land a risk or a Experimental Frenzy and take over. So playing Steam-Kin on the draw seems bad into Chainwhirler. Could play Diamond Mare, could Lava Coil the Lavarunner here. Diamond Mare probably gonna die instantly, that's okay. Name red. So that's gonna eat a Lightning Strike. And then we're kind of hoping for Chainwhirler so we can kill it with Lava Coil. And I would still Lava Coil over playing Steam-Kin, since the risk of second Chainwhirler is pretty high. And then on turn 4 we can double spell Steam-Kin plus Lava Coil. So this was all according to plan. Phoenix would be fine by us, since then we can Steam-Kin plus Lava Coil. The Phoenix... Alright, nothing. In that case we'll Steam-Kin and pass the turn. Probably end up killing the Lavarunner, here's my guess. That works. There was definitely some risk to the shock there if we had 2 1-mana spells. Alright, so we're getting to the point where we need to top deck our Experimental Frenzy. Chainwhirler instead. Playing Chainwhirler onto an empty board isn't great. So I kind of like just playing Risk Factor here. Deal 4 to the opponents. Try to get more value out of Chainwhirler. Waste the opponent's mana too. And then we will consider keeping lands in hand going forward. Lavarunner to draw. And would have haste. Seems fine. Probably just gonna trade for removal. Still gonna keep Chainwhirler in hand, I think. But don't really want to discard anything to jumpstart either. So a bit of an awkward spot here. Both decks kind of playing the control role. Alright, that's a good one. So now we can discard to Risk Factor. Opponent's not doing anything, so they're probably holding some 4-drops that they weren't able to cast, like a Phoenix. Yep. Got the Lava Coil for it. So now would be a good time to draw Frenzy. Also, if this Lava Coil were another normal removal spell, we could have still killed Phoenix and then Chainwhirler to get rid of the egg. So I think we hold Chainwhirler in case our opponent plays another Phoenix, which is pretty likely given that they didn't do anything. And then we can burn Phoenix and maybe Chainwhirler the egg token. Alright. Doesn't look like it. Diamond Mare, sure. Could double spell here. Try and get a bit of value out of the Diamond Mare right away. Don't hate it, they're probably just gonna die. But if our opponent didn't play Phoenix last turn, I expect him just not to have any. So the kill act plan is no longer on the table. So what are they gonna kill first? Chainwhirler. And I expect a Lava Coil on the Diamond Mare. Unless they have a Phoenix. It's gonna be a Banefire, wow. Opponent going deep. Yeah, we're still not finding our Experimental Frenzy, which we boarded 3 copies in, so that's kind of the card we need to pull us ahead. But it looks like our opponent's not drawing anything either. So kind of a weird game. First person to land a threat's probably gonna run away with the game. Come on, Frenzy. I think Frenzy just wins us the game in 2 turns. That's a Phoenix. And that's a perfect Lava Coil. They could kill their own Phoenix here, but then we can shock the Egg token. No response from the opponents. Chainwhirler, sure. So all the damage we did to our opponent was 1 Chainwhirler and double risk factor. Come on, Frenzy. There we go. Alright. Let's shock. Could shock Chainwhirler, could shock Face. I think we shock Face. Oh, I should have played... Nah. Don't think I should have played my land necessarily, since there could be a land on top. Hey, lightning instead. Right. Put a stop on our upkeep so we can still cast it. A Lava Coil on Steam-Kin, that's fine. Alright, so this is where hopefully we can just top deck a bunch of burn spells in a row. It's not gonna be many answers in mono red. Could go Face. I think we actually still kill the Chainwhirler here though. Since if we miss, then we're gonna be in trouble. Draw the land for turn. Steam-Kin on top. Not a Frenzy. It's a bit of a nombo here, but okay. I guess there's no need for a stop now. Kill Steam-Kin. Yep, I'm definitely fine trading resources, since eventually we'll just have way more than the opponent. Sweet. Alright, so the Experimental Frenzy plan worked out beautifully here. It did help that we knew about the Rekindling Phoenix in the opponent's main deck, so we could bring in all the Lava Coils to answer them, since those were pretty key too. We managed to land double Lava Coil on double Phoenix. Otherwise those would have taken over the game as well. And not bringing in our own copies of Rekindling Phoenix, since the opponent also showed us Lava Coils, made sense. I liked our sideboard plan a lot and it worked out beautifully. Alright, so let's see if we can get 2-3 wins here. This sounds good. It's always the dilemma between Firebrand and Lavarunner. I think I'm still leaning towards Firebrand. Also, like in the mirror match, if they kill the Firebrand, then we can still go Lavarunner plus lightning in the same turn. And looks like another mirror match. So do we Wizards Line in their face if they kill Lavarunner? I'm leaning towards yes, since otherwise we're gonna be stuck with a bunch of 3 mana spells in hand. Red whites. Martyr of Dusk. Alright. Dies to our Chainwhirler, so don't think we want to make a move quite yet. Of course, could just send both Firebrands. Think we chill. Try and leverage our Chainwhirlers here. Alright, opponent's gonna have a bad day if we draw our 3rd land. Let's just kill the lifelinking token, I think. Could wait and not attack, and then try to kill it with the 2nd one. It's also reasonable. This way we do get to get in for 1 damage, which can be relevant. And I'm expecting more token generators here anyway, so it's not like the 2nd one's gonna be bad. Alright, works out. So Chainwhirler could attack anyway, but now we could also just Firebrand, Shock, Firebrand, get in for 3. What's better? I mean, I guess we can attack first, see what they do. Doubt I'll block, but you never know. Alright, opponent wants to just trade Firebrand for War Leader and 3 damage. It's interesting. I would think they value their War Leader more highly. Well, we got away with not having to waste all our cards there. I see they've got another one. Sure. Well, we'll just run the same thing, I guess. Although now we have the problem that if they don't block... Yeah, maybe I should have just kept both Chainwhirlers back on defense, now that I think about it. Oh well. Can still block with Chainwhirler and then shoot War Leader if it attacks. The only problem now is that they get 2 tokens out of the deal. Kind of want to just empty our hands so we can get the Frenzy down. Frenzy is a lot better in the late game when we have more than 4 lands. So we can more easily double spell. Or triple spell. Or quadruple spell. So the plan here is first strike on the War Leader and then shoot it with Firebrand. Alright, it's not bad. Alright, so now we can Lightning Strike plus Shock the War Leader. Definitely still can attack with our Chainwhirlers, and if they take it, they're dead. 5, I guess they're dead anyway here. Unless they've got a Shock. No, even a Shock doesn't save them. So our opponent's at 6. Lightning Strike puts them to 5, or to 3, and then Shock and Firebrand. Alright. Well, up against red-white tokens. We were lucky to draw 2 Chainwhirlers there. So, what do we sideboard? Lava Coil lines up well against the War Leader. I think we're just on the Frenzy plan this game. Phoenix could be okay too, potentially, just as a good blocker. Opponent could also bring in a Lyros, in which case Fight with Fire could be good. think we just transition into a control deck. Not sure about the Phoenix yet. Firebrand can probably go. Shock doesn't seem amazing. Oh, definitely want Lava Coil. Lightning Strike's okay. Steam-Kin's okay. Pyromancer can go. Can probably cut some number of Wizard's Lightnings too now. And then add a land. And need to add 2 more cards. I do like Lavarunner as it blocks 1/1 tokens pretty well. Risk factor is also not amazing once we turn into a more controlling deck. I guess Wizard's Lightning's okay. This might be okay. We could also consider Firebrand just for the 1 damage to team up with 3 damage to take out a 4 toughness creature. This seems okay though. Can you still choose different art lands? Yes, you can. Just no longer full art lands since those rotated out, but it's the same system as before. Yeah, that sounds okay, not exciting, but Chainwhirler can make up a lot of ground. Right. So, again, the card we're most excited to draw is Experimental Frenzy, since presumably the opponent doesn't have many answers to it, and then can just take over the game. Sunwing. We will happily Lightning Strike here. And again, we're just gonna play the control role. No need to play Chainwhirler without any value. Holy moly. Thanks a lot for the host there, Nox. Appreciate it. Welcome everyone. We're playing some Monored in the Constructed Challenge here. It's just on tap. And I think I'm okay playing Phoenix and just try and wait on the Chainwhirler, try and get even more value if they've got more tokens out there. So we're currently in a sideboarded game of the Constructed Challenge up against like a red-white aggressive token deck. And we've kind of sideboarded into a more controlling deck. So our main game plan is just to control the board and then eventually stick Experimental Frenzy, the 4-mana enchantment, and then just play a bunch of cards off the top of our deck and take over. So we're not playing super aggressively here, just trying to use our Chainwhirler to trade for as many tokens as possible, kill their stuff. We saw some War Leaders in the first game that we want to kill with Fight with Fire, and Lava Coil that we brought in out of the sideboard. The Manning Dragon also dies to Fight with Fire. I guess we can prevent 5 damage, then the opponent gets to gain 2 with our tokens, that's fine. I would rather prevent 5 damage and have them gain 2 than the other way around. So we'll get a Phoenix back. And I think we just Fight with Fire now. Could play a second Phoenix as well to double block the dragon, potentially. Could backfire. I think we just do this now. And play defense with the Phoenix. Not in a hurry. Don't really want to trade 2 damage for 2 damage, given the lifelinkers. Mentor is definitely a problem card, so glad we've got a Lightning Strike at the ready. Alright, so now what's probably fine to attack with Phoenix, play another one. Still gonna hold on to the Chainwhirler for now. If our opponent plays a War Leader, we can even Chainwhirler plus Lightning to kill the 4 toughness cat. Alright, opponent's got 2 cards, now 3. If they've got more token generators, we've got those covered. Got a War Leader covered. They also showed us the Loxodon, so that could punish us for waiting with the Chainwhirler potentially. So we might just want to run out the Chainwhirler while we can, before they play a Venerated Loxodon and put 2 counters on their tokens here. Yeah, right now we've got a total of 3 Frenzies after sideboard. 2 main, 1 in the side, and we've got 1 extra land that we board in as well. I think we'll keep land in hand in case of risk factor for jumpstart. And yep, that's gonna do it. Sweet. So we're up to 3-0 now. So we made our gold back. So now it's all gravy. Yeah, Frenzy is just a little clunky in multiples. Doesn't really help. But it is of course powerful if you do draw it. Let's see how far we can go. Alright, this hand seems okay. Alright. Well, Firebrand's an interesting pickup. So facing Llanowar Elves on the play with Runaway Steam-Kin in hand, it's always a delicate situation. Opponent could just drop a turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion, which would punish us for not killing Llanowar Elves right away. On the other hand, we do want to develop the Steam-Kin as soon as possible. I think I'm leaning towards Steam-Kin anyway. We can just outgrow it, or grow it big enough to trade for a Steel Leaf eventually. And then next turn we can Firebrand to kill the Elf. And make sure they don't cast any 4-drop on turn 3. Alright, just an Adventure Simple, so not punished. Brontodon. And Harpooner. Alright, that's fine. So we get to untap. We can play Steam-Kin, kill Llanowar Elves. And attack into Harpooner. Or we could just wait a turn. I think I'm leaning towards waiting a turn here. We know their opponent's gonna have access to Brontodon. Don't think we want to trade a Steam-Kin for a 3-2 Harpooner. Ooh, and there's a Frenzy. Alright, exciting, exciting. So now we've got a ton of options available. I'm leaning towards just lightning striking the Harpooner, getting in with both Steam-Kins. Could also attack with the Lavarunner, but then we give away the fact that we have a shock effect. They're pretty likely to block the 3-3 Steam-Kin here. Not interested in playing the Frenzy, since then Steam-Kin would die. And a Ferox, alright, that's a big boy. So our plan now is just to take over the game with Experimental Frenzy and hopefully draw enough burn spells that we can just kill them before they drop a Galta. So picking up a Lightning is interesting. Could put them to 3 here if we just go face. Definitely interesting. My guess is we just make mana with Steam-Kin, Lightning their face, drop Frenzy, see what we have. It's close. I think I'll try it. So we wanna lightning their face first, otherwise we can no longer play it. Grow Steam-Kin again. Could have also removed all the mana from all Steam-Kins here to have more mana available, but it's kind of going all in on having good top decks. Alright, so here ends our run. I think we still go face here. Seems decent. 7 down to 2, and then we just have to top deck a burn spell. Could even make mana here if we wanted to, just to show the versatility of Steam-Kin, but... Alright. Well, so far so good. We're playing 22 lands, we've got one in the sideboard. Another Ferox. So our opponent's not dead on board quite yet. Alright, opponent lives for another turn here. Belt Collector, sure. I have a hard time imagining our opponent killing us before we top deck a burn spell. Alright, so risk factor is a little awkward with Frenzy since it just let you draw 3 cards, but on the other hand, if they let us draw 3 cards we can just pop the Frenzy and burn them out. Alright, so now we can just make mana. I guess we can just run this out too. And then just pop the Frenzy and lightning their face. Steam-Kin does combine very nicely with Experimental Frenzy since you can easily just make a ton of mana, cast a bunch of red spells, add even more mana, keep going. So they are best of buddies. Alright, so against mono green, Lava Coil comes in, Fight with Fire comes in. Phoenix is probably okay, would be my guess. And then Frenzy is a consideration. They did have Brontodon, so they do have answers to it. What do we take out is a question. Risk factor might be a bit worse, since their opponent could just outrace us and then 4 damage doesn't matter. Could see cutting that. Also want to add the extra land. That's for some reason hiding out. Alright. Pyromancer is definitely cuttable. Firebrand I kind of like as a cheap answer to Llanowar Elves. Lavarunner's not amazing, but does make our Wizard's Lining cheaper. And Phoenix is mostly also an answer to the 6/6 with Hexproof that we can't easily kill otherwise. Could see just cutting some shocks, but Firebrand can also chump a 6/6. Do have to make a decision here. I think I'll cut 2 Wizard's Linings now that we cut some Wizards and just got 1 Firebrand, I think. Not sure about this one. I do know we want Lava Coils, we want Fight with Fires. Chainwhirler's not amazing, but it's still a good defensive creature, especially if we draw multiple copies, since 2 Chainwhirlers just hold back a Nullhide Ferox all by themselves. And it's not like the mono green deck's gonna have much removal. This hand seems okay, especially on the draw. If we can get to Phoenix, that's the way to win the game. Answers to turn 1 Llanowar Elves, answers to something big. Alright, Throne Lieutenant's annoying, but Chainwhirler can clean up all the tokens. Alright, so I don't feel like I want to waste the Lava Coil on the Lieutenant. So I could also just stay back, maybe Shock plus Firebrand it, and then Chainwhirler to clean up. Doesn't feel like I need to make a move now. Alright, so now I probably just block, ping it, and then shock it. Yeah, Lieutenant is definitely very good against Monored. We are kind of giving away the fact that we are going to Chainwhirler next turn, but it's not like that's gonna change much. Alright, Brontodon. So now we're kind of priced into Chainwhirler instead of Lava Coil. Although we could obviously still Lava Coil the Brontodon. I think Chainwhirler's fine. And then Phoenix blocks Brontodon pretty well, can keep Lava Coil for maybe a Steel Leaf champion. Alright, Ferox is an issue. But Phoenix can chump it, so that's our plan for now. Chump Ferox, and then Lava Coil can deal with Brontodon so it doesn't keep attacking. But they probably won't be sending Brontodon into the Phoenix to begin with. Harpooner could be annoying here, but they only have one creature in graveyard. Oof, Galta, yep. Galta's the biggest problem we can face. Could have been a reason to maybe just Lava Coil Brontodon while we could. Double Phoenix isn't bad. But still not good enough. So is there any way we can realistically race here? Don't think so. Yeah, Galta is kind of the stalemate breaker in the matchup and what makes green have a good matchup versus red most of the time. Most of the other creatures are still manageable with Phoenix. No attacks. So what's our plan? Take 12 from Galta and then try and set up something next turn. Didn't think that's gonna go very well. Could of course just prevent 6 damage by chumping. Alright, so we prevent more damage by chumping the Ferox than we do by chumping Galta. So probably want to go that route. No reason to chump with the Chainwhirler yet. So we take 12 down to 5. And then we have 9 toughness to throw in front of it. And Wizard's Lining can finish it off. But another Ferox is gonna kill us. We might have had a chance without the other Ferox there. Uh-oh. I hope I'm targeting the right one here. Firebrand, does that change anything? How much damage do we have if we go face? 12 damage, so we weren't actually too far away from just killing our opponent here. Alright, so I think we're dead here. But I guess we'll go through the motions. Alright, so chump, chump, chump. So this would trample over for 6, so that's lethal. So yeah, we're dead here. So this tramples over for 3. This is 6, we're dead. Alright. Yeah, without the second Nullhide Ferox, I think we might have been able to come back into the game, but this was a bit much. But I do like the Phoenix plan, so that seems to be working out pretty well. Just have to hope they don't curve into Galta. The Firebrands as chump blockers are pretty sweet too. So I think I liked most of what we had going on there. Experimental Frenzy can definitely be too slow. If they curve into Galta, then it doesn't do much. Risk factor seems kind of bad. Yeah, I don't think we change much. Could make the argument that on the play we should just be lower to the ground, try and kill them, but they just have too many big blockers that I don't think that's realistic. I think we run it back. Alright, I mean, this hand's not amazing, but it's got a plan, and that's to make a 4/4 Steam-Kin, kill all their stuff. Go from there. It's definitely dying. Don't have a great feeling about this one. Belt Collector. Alright, come on, land. Oof. Land would have been brutal here. No such luck. Tradesies. Alright, fine. Alright, so can Lavarunner plus Wizard's Lining. Seems good. Let's see if they make the same mistake as last time. Well, mistake is maybe a bit harsh, but the same play. Nope. Alright, suppose we could have attacked with a Lavarunner 2 here. Would have been fine to trade 2 for 1 there. I think we still lightning their face. Could definitely consider using the Steam-Kin for mana next turn, since then we can just deploy our hand. That's an aggressive attack, so I'm expecting a Nullhide Ferox to make an appearance. Nope, Steel Leaf. Steel Leaf is beatable. Alright, so now what? Can remove 3, make 3 mana, Chainwhirler plus Lightning Strike. Champion, yeah, seems good. I think our opponent got a little bit too aggressive with the Brontonon attack there. I think they're gonna regret that one. Another one. Alright, they should be dead here. Oof. That was a close one. Did not expect we were gonna win the match. Sweet. So unsure if Experimental Frenzy is great in this matchup, but didn't seem like we had any great alternatives really. Alright, so we're up to 4 wins, more than I expected, so let's see how far we can keep going here. And this hand looks pretty sweet. Nice curve. Ooh, Marshall. Goblin Chainwhirler's already smiling. Don't think they'll trade, but we'll see. So hopefully we can just wait until turn 3 for the Chainwhirler here, and we don't have to use our Firebrand. Red-white. Okay. Chainwhirler intensifies. Alright, so if this guy's attacks, then they get to make a lifelinking token. So it would be a little suspicious if we don't just kill it here. Gotta sell it. Alright, charge, fine. So now the Chainwhirler is gonna be a lot more effective. Alright, did not expect a charge there, but I'm actually glad it happened. Oh yes. And that's how you sell a Chainwhirler. Alright, now what? Steam-Kin seems like a good start. And, alright, opponent's gonna scoop it up. Alright, so against the red-white tokens, what do we bring in besides hoping to top deck Chainwhirler? I mean, Diamond Mare could be okay, Phoenix could be okay, Frenzy could be okay. I have a hard time believing they can change their entire game plan and take out all the token elements. So I think we just want to maximize the potential of drawing Chainwhirler, which probably means adding Experimental Frenzy. And Diamond Mare seems reasonable. Probably better than Pyromancer. All the spot removal's kind of iffy. But they could easily have cards like Legion Warboss that need killing with Lightning Strike or Shock. Could see cutting the Wizard's Lightnings, make room for Phoenix, just up our curve a bit, add the mountain we have in our sideboard that keeps hiding. So something like this seems good. Not convinced the risk factor is going to be great here, but might draw us into a Chainwhirler, who knows. And I don't really see anything that's looking a lot better. Pyromancer's just 2-1, doesn't line up well against what they're doing. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can name the mono-red deck nowadays. I went with Runaway Red. Sounds kind of sweet. Could also go for Risk Factor Red or Risky Red. Or just mono-red. On the draw, no Chainwhirler, so that's one strike against his hand. One lander's also not ideal. Do have double Lavarunner, double Steam-Kin, Frenzy. Could be worse. It's a bit risky if we don't find our second land soon. But I think it's better than an average 6. Is it better than an average 6 plus a Scry? Maybe not. I think I'll go to 6 here, but mostly because I want to give myself the chance of drawing Chainwhirler more than the hand being bad. Alright, can go to the bottom. Alright, there's our Chainwhirler, right on time. So we can block the Marshal nicely. And we're gonna try and bait out the charge once again. Wasn't paying attention for a second. I meant to play the Steam-Kin there, I think. But Firebrand's still fine here. Since that might set up the Chainwhirler better. Alright, so Loxodon's too bad. It's gonna make our Chainwhirler plan not work out. Alright, so I guess we're killing a bodyguard over the Marshal. So I guess I'm kind of happy I played the Firebrand anyway there. Now that we know about the Loxodon, we can definitely make some different plays, like killing their 1-1 when we have the chance. Alright, I guess we'll play the Steam-Kin now. Alright, let's take some damage. Could double block the Marshal, I guess. But we can check it once we get the Chainwhirler in play. History, alright. The opponent's deck looking a lot different now. Does block pretty well, I guess. Wouldn't get full value. Alternative is getting Firebrand in play first, so the 1 damage can combine with Chainwhirler to take something out. But that's still going to be the case next turn to block the Loxodon. This is not a knight. Yeah, let's get him out there. So we might have to readjust our sideboarding slightly after seeing Loxodon. So something like a Lava Coil and a Fight with Fire is more appealing now. If they kill Chainwhirler, we're gonna be in trouble. But for now he does a good job of blocking. I think I'm fine taking 4. Don't really want to lose our 3/3 first strike. And next turn Firebrand's gonna be pretty decent since it can help us chump a 4/3 and then maybe ping something else. Although Phoenix is tempting too. Yeah, probably Phoenix better here. It does the same thing the ping from Firebrand does and also provides a blocker. Seems fine. Is Siege Gang Commander not good in this list? It's mostly because it's 5 mana, which is pretty pricey. Even after sideboard, when adding 1 extra land, we're only up to 23, which is not a lot. So 5 mana is pretty steep. Could easily die here for opponents, removes some blockers or has a few charges. We'll see. Alright, opponent's gonna jam. So let's first try and play around charge. So this plays around charge pretty well. We would take 5, lose Lavarunner, and nothing else. So I don't hate this. If it's Inspire Charge, then we lose Steam-Kin, but that's it. So I think I'm liking this. Alternatively, we could put Chainwhirler in front of the 4/3 Knight, but then any pump spell kind of wrecks us. Yeah, let's play it like this. I guess it's possible we should have blocked Loxodon with a Phoenix, but then a +1/+1 effect would not have killed the Loxodon, whereas it would have still killed the 2/2 Knight token. Alright, no tricks from the opponent. And risk factors, these. But I think we still go Mare plus Firebrand here. And then the question is, how aggressive do we get? Since we're still only at 7. Phoenix and Chainwhirler are pretty good blockers. Might be able to get in there with Steam-Kin. Yeah. Let's get in there with a Steam-Kin. Got Firebrand to blow up a triple block. Alright. Well. We survived the History of Benalia onslaught. Let's see what else they've got. They could also have some burn spells to finish us off, but we didn't see any in the previous game. Although, to be honest, the previous game didn't last very long. So I'm interested to see what happens. Nothing. Alright. So could pay 3, risk factor, discard land, jumpstart. Seems good. Could also attack first. But now they've got the Loxodon as a blocker. Might start attacking with the Phoenix here. Yeah, Steam-Kin has got some neat synergies with Jumpstart, with Experimental Frenzy. Just a very good card. Opponent takes it. We'll Jumpstart. They might have something like a Seal Away or a Settled Wreckage that they're holding to get the Phoenix. Could definitely be the case. Alright, and now we get some cards. That's good. Now that we drew the risk factor, I don't feel the need to attack with the Phoenix as much and run into a potential Settle or Seal Away situation. Since now we can just risk factor, Jumpstart again, and we probably draw into a burn spell. And then maybe Phoenix can finish them off regardless. I don't know. Not knowing the opponent's deck list, it's always tricky what to do exactly. But if there's this kind of board stall with the risk factor in hand, I feel like we're pretty far ahead. Our opponent agrees and scoops it up. Well, game 1 on the back of Chainwhirler, game 2 on the back of, I guess, Chainwhirler again, and Phoenix helped. And risk factor cleaned up the mess. Alright, so we're 5-0. Not bad, not bad. So with the next win we would get 10 packs and 1000 gold. Yeah. Seems worth it. Alright, this hand's lacking some creatures maybe, but it's got an Experimental Frenzy, which I'm always excited to see. So seems like a keep to me. Chad is traumatized by the Teferi profile picture. Well, there's a Temple Garden. I guess it could still be Turbo Fog. Yep. Turbo Fog confirmed. Well, I think our deck is actually pretty well set up to beat Turbo Fog, since we've got so much burn. Alright, I think we just start pointing these at their face. We might want to keep the Wizard's Lining, since that can potentially go to a Planeswalker as well. I would happily trade 2 burn spells to kill a Teferi. Probably just gonna Lightning Strike them here. Grow the Lavarunner. And keep more options with Lightning and Shock. Alright. Let's see if they have a Settle main deck. No Settles. Well, this is going pretty well so far. Search, not even Teferi. And they're gonna have to start fogging already. So do we use our removal spells yet. I think we actually hold on to them. Not give away the fact that we've got all the burn, and also if they do drop Teferi, we want to be able to kill it, since killing Teferi is more important than pointing some burn spells at their face. So they are technically dead. They could have a counterspell of some variety, but I think we probably just go for it here. Alright then. Well, 2 lands is all you need. Opponent had a pretty weak hand. So against Turbo Fog, I think I like Experimental Frenzy. What don't I like? Pretty much like everything. Chainwhirler's not amazing, so I could see cutting a Chainy Boy. Phoenix seems bad. Don't need an extra land, I don't think. Yeah, this matchup seems pretty rough for the Turbo Fog deck. I guess they're probably gonna bring in Lyras, so we may want to bring in Fight with Fire. Yeah, it's pretty likely that they have Lyras. So we'll bring in Fight with Fire preemptively. Chainwhirler can go. Although Chainwhirler's nice since it pings Planeswalkers, but it's kind of a mopey otherwise. Yeah, this seems better. Hatch versus Lyra. And just keep the deck as low to the ground as possible. Max out on Frenzies, which can also single-handedly run away with the game. No pun intended. What's the win condition of the Turbo Fog deck? They essentially try to just take infinite turns, and then their win condition after they emblem Teferi and exile all your stuff is either make some tokens with Karn and attack with those. They could have like an Elvish Rejuvenator that kills you. Doesn't really matter since they can just deck you with Teferi. So they don't really need an additional win condition besides Teferi, but usually they do. Alright, so this hand's not very good. Do have an answer for Lyra, should they have it, but this hand doesn't really do much else. So I think I'll mulligan. Don't like this hand either, but it's probably fine. Yeah, it seems good. Yeah, Evolving Wilds is pretty standard now just because the mana base got worse. Not really surprised to see it. Well, this hand definitely has a lot of Steam-Kins. Hey, appreciate the 3-month resubscription there, Bearded Cat. Thanks for the continued support. And welcome back to the Loyal Legion. Alright, let's play some more Steam-Kins. And get in for 4. We might keep the other Steam-Kin as a jumpstart fodder. We'll see. And we'll have to keep Settle the Wreckage in mind as well. No double whites, so I guess that's not a concern. So your opponent's gonna have to start fogging already, which is good. Probably just main phase Risk Factor to grow the Steam-Kins. I guess we can attack first. I think we let damage happen before we Risk Factor to grow the Steam-Kins, since I've got a feeling that if we Risk Factor to grow the Steam-Kins, our opponent is going to fog, and I don't want them to fog here since we've got the Risk Factor. So I think I let damage happen. This is 7 put him to 8, so a double Risk Factor is lethal. And do I do anything else? I guess I might as well play out the mountain since I'm not gonna play the other Steam-Kin, doesn't seem necessary. Unless they somehow brought in like a cleansing Nova and play it here. Alright, that's the risk factor. It's probably gonna require an answer of some variety. Alright. So we could just risk factor again here. Yeah, might as well. They're gonna have to let us draw. And then we'll probably find enough burn here. Yeah, this seems like a pretty terrible matchup for the Turbo Fog deck, unless they get a Lara in play. Alright, that's 3 mountains. No double white, so don't need to play around subtle. So that's gonna be Fog. Sure. Alright, now we just need to draw 1 point of burn to kill him. So if they go to Fairy into Fog, that would be scary, but looks like they were fresh out of Fogs. Sweet. Well, that was definitely a good matchup for us. And came at a good time. So up to 6-0. Not bad, not bad. Let's see if we can get the max reward here. Would be pretty epic. Yeah, this sounds okay. Not great if they answer the Steam-Kin, because then risk factor becomes a lot worse as we're not pressuring them, but I don't think we can realistically mulligan. Alright, might be the mirror. Yep. Definitely played a fair number of mirror matches so far. And being on the draw in a mirror match is super sketchy. Because if our opponent has a Goblin Chainwhirler, we get completely wrecked. So we probably just have to say go here. And then next turn we can Steam-Kin plus Firebrand. Make sure it doesn't die. I could have also Firebranded to kill the Steam-Kin there. It's also an option. But I kind of want to keep it to go alongside our own Steam-Kin to develop our board. Opponent does nothing. I mean, I probably should have just killed the Steam-Kin there, to be honest, but let's do it now, I guess. And hope they don't have triple 1-drop. Alright. And Lavarunner, a much better one to go alongside Steam-Kin since it doesn't die to Chainwhirler. But they probably just have an answer anyway. Alright. They did have to blow a Wizard's Lightning, so presumably no shocks or lightning strikes in hand. Which is good. Alright, they just have double Wizard's Lightning. So now we're gonna take 2. Next turn we can go Steam-Kin plus Firebrand. And they're playing white as well. And there's a Frenzy. Uh-oh. It's not what we wanted to see. Triple risk factor. Well, our hand definitely has a plan. Yep. Yeah, our chances of winning this game not super high. We're also taking damage from Chainwhirler here. since I can't imagine them letting us draw cards in this stage. Could bluff attack the Steam-Kin into Chainwhirler. Probably would have been the correct play since we're not winning this game any other way anyways. Yep. So now we're behind on board, behind our resources, and risk factors pretty terrible when you're behind. So our only hope is that our opponent somehow has all lands on top, and we manage to burn them out here. Seems ambitious. I don't even know if I'm killing the Lava Runner here with a shock. Yeah, I think we're dead either way. Like, the only thing that doesn't kill us if we kill Lava Runner is shock, or like a Firebrand. I mean, I think we're 0% to win anyway, but yeah, doesn't do it. So our opponent lets us draw cards, otherwise they would be dead. I guess they wouldn't necessarily be dead since we would need a wizard plus Wizard's Lining. So they could have let us deal them 4 damage actually there. Alright, opponent down to 5, and then we die. So after sideboard, opponent's on a red-white aggro, not exactly sure what the white is for. So, pretty normal looking mono-red deck. Yeah, I was okay showing them the Pyromancer since I'm taking it out, so I kind of wanted to show them the Pyromancer there. So Phoenix coming in, hopefully they don't board in Lava Coils preemptively. We could board our own Lava Coils preemptively, in case they have their own Phoenix. Oh, Justice Strike is what they're playing white for, could be. Not particularly great, but... So yeah, we're boarding in Phoenix, extra Frenzy, so we want a Mountain. And Diamond Mare seems good. Then I'm not a fan of Firebrands. Already took out Pyromancers, so I think that's what we're going with. And then the question is Lava Coil or no Lava Coil. I think we'll hedge and bring in like 2 Lava Coils for Phoenix. And then we can cut maybe some risk factors, since it's not the best combo with Frenzy, which we just boarded in an extra copy. It's reasonable. Could also take out some Wizard's Linings. But those are nice top decks when we have a Frenzy going. Alright, I think we'll go with this. And then we have to take a look if our opponent's playing Phoenix or not, and then if they do, then we probably want to board in additional copies of Lava Coil. Our previous mono-red opponent made it easier on us since they had main deck Phoenix, so we knew to bring in Lava Coil, and that made a pretty big difference. Yeah, Experimental Frenzy, can't really mulligan. So our plan is just to trade resources and then land a Frenzy and hopefully take over the game. Opponent took 2 from Sacred Foundry, so they've got a 1-drop, but it's not going to be able to kill Diamond Mare. So that worked out, got 2 free points in. Alright, opponent did bring in Lava Coils, so our Phoenix plan looking a little shaky here. And Chainwhirler is an interesting card in a mirror match, since there's often scenarios where it's better to keep it in hand. I think this is one of them. don't want it to simply trade for removal. If our opponent has a Phoenix, for example, we can kill it and then Chainwhirler to kill the egg. Opponent's got their own Diamond Mare, which we're happy to kill here. Could also risk factor first, and then Wizard's Lining it. And a Firebrand. Opponent kept in Firebrands, interesting. I don't think that's great, but we'll see here. So yeah, I think we're leaning towards Wizard's Lining the Diamond Mare over risk factor here. And then we could Chainwhirler to kill Firebrand. We could be even more patient in case of a Phoenix. But I guess we just use our removal spell for Phoenix, so never mind. Yeah, let's just Chainwhirler. So yeah, we're off the Chainwhirler the egg plan. Welcome everyone. We're currently in the competitive metagame challenge and we're 6-0, so this is for the 7-0 win. Down a game though, so it's not looking great. Although this time we do have Experimental Frenzy, which, yeah, I mean, I guess we can wait a turn, since we're probably gonna risk factor first before we drop the Frenzy. And we might want to kill a creature end of turn here. Could be that they're also playing white for answers for Experimental Frenzy. They could have some disenchant. It's definitely possible. Alright, I think we're still gonna wait one turn here. It's a lot of Wizard's Linings. Well, we're just on the burn plan here. Not sure what the opponent's holding. Maybe some scary 5-drops, but doesn't look like it. And could go Shock plus Wizard Lining them for 5, put them to 7. Then risk factor again, and then Wizard Lining's lethal. Sounds like a plan. Is this aggro or burn? Kind of a mix of both, I guess. Aggro with a lot of burn in it. Just happen to draw a lot of burn spells now. And yeah, I think we're just passing the turn. And then risk factoring. Opponent's gonna let us draw a card. I guess we could have risk factored now, since they were likely to let us draw cards in case we could hit a land drop. So I think we're off the Experimental Frenzy plan, which is kind of weird since that's kind of the mirror breaker usually. But our opponent's gonna have to let us draw cards here, unless they've got like the Lightning Helix to gain 3. And it seems like Chainwhirler's gonna be better than Frenzy. I don't know, this was weird. Did not imagine I would ever be discarding this card, but here we are. Alright, we drew one anyway. So, don't really want to show them the Phoenix if we can help it, but on the other hand, they already brought in Lava Coil, so they probably expect it. So next turn we can go Chainwhirler plus Lightning, so this turn playing Phoenix seems fine. Fully expect us to either get killed and then Chainwhirlered, or to get Lava Coiled. But it just plays out better. Alright, more Phoenix. So now we can Chainwhirler plus Lightning. Seems fine. What do I think of Mono Blue Tempo? Is Workite Marauder better or Exclusion Mage? It's a very specific question. I think the Mono Blue deck is fine. Definitely a nice budget deck that can win some games. Not sure if Workite Marauder is better than Exclusion Mage. They're very different cards. Right. So our opponent flooded out quite a bit here. Lava Runner, sure. I think we go for it. They might have a weird white card that gains some life here, but alright, so we still don't know what the white is for. Opponent brought in Lava Coils, we showed them Phoenix. So do we take out the Phoenix? Do we bring in Lava Coils ourselves? A lot of interesting questions. Can probably afford to stay put. Opponent was on Firebrands, we took them out. I think that's reasonable. Not a fan of Pyromancer versus Chainwhirler, so the only real question is whether we want the 3rd and 4th copies of Lava Coil. I don't think we do. Yeah, I think we'll just go again with kind of the version that's hedging a little bit for Phoenix, but not going all in. Opponent also didn't play many creatures that game, but I guess they just drew a lot of lands. This hand's looking decent. Double risk factor, not the best combo with Frenzy, but we've got Lava Runner plus Lightning, which is a good start. How do you beat Mono Green Stompy? Well, we beat one earlier. Did get pretty lucky, to be honest, but it's definitely possible. Just try to kill all their stuff, essentially, prevent them from getting Galtine there. I was also considering keeping the Lava Runner for turn 2, so we could Lava Runner plus Wizard's Lining without getting the Lava Runner killed. Yeah, this is why. Since now we won't be able to answer the Lava Runner until turn 3, where we have all these risk factors. So probably was right to just keep Lava Runner in hand there until turn 2, which is kind of a weird thing, but on the bright side, our opponents didn't play any Steam-Kins on 2. So we're just hoping we have another game like we did in the previous one, where we get to leverage all the risk factors instead of having to answer their creatures. Alright, that's good. Just gonna say go. So we want to get these risk factors out there before the Frenzy. And I think I'm fine taking 1. If they play an instant to make it 2 power, then I'll kill it. Alright. Shock is not bad. Well, we're definitely drawing well here, I think. Not sure what our opponent's up to over there. It's like they have a very reactive sideboard plan with a bunch of Lava Coils, and they haven't been able to convert those. And we happen to draw our risk factors even though we boarded 2 copies out. But they seem to be lining up pretty well here. Chainwhirler, sure. And the reason I didn't shock the Lava Runner there is because if our opponent did have Rekindling Phoenix, we wanted to Lightning plus shock it. So we would have had an answer. Alright, so now we could just kill both creatures, which would be fine. We could risk factor again. See if we maybe draw Wizard to make our Lightning cheaper. I think I like that more. Can still just kill both their creatures next turn. So to shock or not to shock? 3, 4. Don't have a ton of 2-drops. If we draw Steam-Kin, I guess we could get punished a little bit. I think I'll untap first. Alright, Chainwhirler to draw. So now we kind of got rewarded, since we can Chainwhirler plus shock theirs. So our Chainwhirler's gonna die, probably to a Lava Coil, and then we'll take 2 from Lavarunner, untap, and then we'll have to decide whether to Lightning the Lavarunner or do something else. Still not entirely sure what our opponent is up to. Alright, there's a Steam-Kin after all, so they might be holding it, but not sure why. Alright, so we'll take 2. Our own Steam-Kin's decent, so we want to kill theirs as opposed to the Lavarunner now. So far so good. And we're happy with the trade given the Frenzy, I think, although Steam-Kin's a very good creature in the matchup, we'll see. They might just kill it anyway before combat. These mono-red matchups are very interesting, especially after sideboard. Chainwhirler. Opponent's got 3 cards in hand. And they've got a Wizard's Lining too. It's too bad. We were hoping to trade there, since now we're pretty far behind on board and the Frenzy's looking quite a bit worse. Still don't know what they're splashing white for. Hopefully it's not the pump spell, since otherwise we're gonna look pretty silly with this Lightning Strike. And we might even consider risk factoring discard Frenzy, but it seems weird since Frenzy's the card that kind of has to win us the game. But we could just double risk factor, put the opponent to 3. But we can't really threaten lethal since we'll be empty-handed. So this is an important point, whether to risk factor or just untap, play Frenzy. Like, they might even have white to destroy our Frenzy, thinking that it's such an important card in the matchup. I think we Frenzy here. And I think I'm leaning towards playing the land. It's always tricky when the turn you're playing the Frenzy, whether to play land or not. But I think I am. Alright, it's a good one. Diamond Mare is good too, but we won't be able to cast it sadly. But if Diamond Mare was on top, playing the land would have allowed us to play it. And I think we're just in the mode of trying to trade resources and not trying to race here, given that we've got the Frenzy going and our opponent doesn't. So I'm expecting Lavarunner to die regardless, but... Alright, Lightning Strike face, so it's not looking good for us here. Down to 2, and are we dead? Yep. Alright, so the 7-0 dream died. But we definitely pushed it to the limit here, losing in game 3 of match 7. Still a good run, pretty happy with the result, 6-1. So we got 20 packs for 1,000 gold, definitely worth our time. So let's claim our prize and crack some packs. Too bad you can't use these for draft. Alright, should we open one at a time or 10 at once? What does chat think? I mean, we're gonna have to open one of them one at a time anyway, since we've got 23 of them. Assure Assemble. So if this were like a draft pack 1 pick 1, what would I take? Probably Assure Assemble. It's a very good card. Alright, we'll open one at a time. Tajik, also a very good first pick. Direct Current's great, Nightveil Sprite's great. Scout is good too, but I would definitely take Current, Sprite and Tajik over it. So this is a tricky pack 1 pick 1. All the cards in this pack are quite good. Tajik might just be that good that you should first pick it despite it being 2 colors. Between Sprite and Current, I think I'll lean Current, although I do like Sprite quite a bit. Alright, this is an easy Thief of Sanity just because it's such a fun card, but it's also gonna win you a lot of games. So that's the kind of multicolor card that I definitely don't mind first picking. Harpooner's great too, but Doom Whisper, one of the best rares and mythics in the set, so easy first pick. Luminous Bonds, good too. Gruesome Menagerie, not really a fan. What else do we have? This pack is pretty bad. Like, I wouldn't be very happy to first pick an Iron Shell Beetle, but that might be what I would do. Golgari. Like, people are saying Golgari is not that great in draft, and it's probably true. It's still probably a fine playable deck if you end up getting the good cards, but yeah, there's definitely a lack of graveyard filling cards at common. Chromatic Lanterns, a nice one if you want to build a multicolor deck full of gates. Might of the Mass is also very good in Selesnya. And there's some random red cards. Ooh, Steam-Kin. Already have our playset, but also a good card in draft. So wouldn't mind first picking it here. Nothing else that really competes for it. Alright. This pack is pretty similar to the one we had before with 2 uncommons. No, don't think Research is great, but maybe if you first pick it you can build around it. But this is not the kind of gold card that I would first pick and then necessarily build a deck around, unlike some of the other ones. So yeah, this pack is pretty mopey. Thousand Year Storm. Don't know what to think about this card in draft. I don't think it's great, but there might be like 1 in 10 Thousand Year Storm decks where this card is great. The Cavalier seems good, so I'd probably take that. Even though it's a multicolor card, the power level is definitely up there. Alright, got a Watery Grave. Not a first pick in Limited, but a nice card for Constructed. Capture Sphere looks good here. Notion Rain I prefer over Capture Sphere, but it is a Dimir card, so it commits you to 2 colors right away, and I don't think the power level is that much higher than Capture Sphere that you should first pick a multicolor card over just a solid removal spell in a single color. Banneret's very good too, so I think it's probably between Sphere and Banneret. Alright, Imara, very good card, so is Status Statue and Watcher. So I think it's probably between the 2 multicolor cards here. I'm not sure which one I would take. The great removal spell or the good rare that if you play it on turn 2, you often win the game. Ooh, Beast Whisperer, definitely first pickable card. Desert Guide also a very good card that I've been very impressed with, even in Limited. And I also expect this card to see some standard play. But Beast Whisperer can win you the game by itself. And what else? This one's not great. Probably looking at a Rampaging Monument here, or maybe a Hired Poisoner. Alright, let's open these 10 at a time. Which rare would we first pick out of this? There's a lot of good ones here. Bounty of Might can steal games. Connive Concoct is great. Ral is pretty decent. The Knight of Autumn is very good too. Alright. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I wanna thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed. And as always, have a nice day. I also want to thank all my patrons for being part of the channel, and you can become a patron yourself today and decide the topic of future videos over at patreon.com/LegenVD.